Tonight, we have breaking news as we come on the air just in this evening. The cause of death now revealed for actor Gene Hackman and his wife. Tonight, the chief medical examiner revealing Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman died of heart disease and Alzheimer's, and that his wife had died a week earlier in the home from a rare virus transmitted by mice droppings in urine. Authorities telling our correspondent they believe Gene Hackman was in the home for a week with his dead wife. Tonight, the dramatic images, the explosion of Elon Musk's SpaceX Starship. The FAA now ordering an investigation tonight. The rocket breaking up 9 minutes into its test flight, debris streaking across the sky. Multiple airports ordering ground stops. Pilots in the air warned to look out for debris. A passenger recording images through this airplane window. Tonight, the new turn in President Trump's on-again, off-again tariffs. 24 hours after pausing 25% tariffs against Canada and Mexico, saying it's just a pause for one more month. Now President Trump is threatening Canada with a tariff up to 250% on dairy and lumber. What builders in the U.S. say that could do immediately to the cost of construction and homes here. At this hour, we're following a case making national headlines for the first time in 15 years. A death row inmate set to face a firing squad instead of lethal injection or the electric chair. He chose the firing squad. Tonight, authorities have arrested 2 active duty soldiers and an Army veteran accused in a plot to sell secrets to China. And tonight, authorities say they have video. Tonight, the 20-year-old college student and engineering student who died. Authorities were at first told he was hit in the chest while playing basketball. Tonight, investigators say it was not basketball, it was hazing, that he was repeatedly punched in the chest. Tonight, dangerously high winds gusting up to 65 miles per hour in the Northeast. Planes rocking back and forth as they were coming in for landing. Tonight, the CDC now reporting measles in at least a dozen states, where it's now spreading. More than 200 cases now in Texas and New Mexico combined. Tonight, hear Dolly Parton dedicating this song to her husband, who she lost this week.
If you hadn't been you, well, who would I be?
The emotional tribute, and we'll play it for you. And tonight, so many eyes trained on this eagle's nest. Are we just moments away from another eaglet hatching?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we have several breaking stories as we come on the air tonight. We begin tonight with the mysterious death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. Tonight, the cause of death just revealed: Gene Hackman dying of heart disease and complications from Alzheimer's. His wife, Betsy Hackman, dying in the home they now believe a week earlier from a rare virus traced to mice droppings in urine. The two were found in different rooms in their Santa Fe home. Tonight, the chief medical examiner revealing they died of different causes, but they were natural causes, several days apart, no foul play. Gene Hackman's pacemaker recorded the day he died. Authorities telling our correspondent today they do believe Gene Hackman was in the home for a week with his dead wife. ABC's Trevor Ault leading us off in Santa Fe tonight.
Tonight, New Mexico authorities with tragic revelations to a week-long mystery, saying Gene Hackman died of heart disease and complications from Alzheimer's, likely a week after his wife Betsy died of the rare, deadly disease hantavirus.
The cause of death for Mr. Gene Hackman, aged 95 years, is hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, with Alzheimer's disease as a significant contributory factor. The cause of death for Miss Betsy Hackman, aged 65 years, is hantavirus pulmonary syndrome.
Hantavirus is transmitted to humans by mice. There's been less than 900 cases since the CDC started tracking it in 1993.
Hantavirus can be transmitted to people through rodent urine, droppings, or saliva.
The couple, married for 30 years, were found dead inside their Santa Fe home by a neighborhood caretaker February 26th. Hackman found in the mudroom, appearing to have suddenly fallen. Betsy in the bathroom with pills scattered on the counter, her body further decomposed than her husband's.
Based on the circumstances, it is reasonable to conclude that Ms. Hackman passed away first, with February 11th being the last time that she was known to be alive.
Officials say pacemaker data indicates Hackman likely died February 18th.
Does this mean Gene Hackman was likely home with his deceased wife for a week before he passed away himself?
Yes, I would assume that is the case.
Investigators also revealed tragic details of why one of the couple's dogs also died in a crate at the home.
There was a procedure that was done with the dog, which may explain why the dog was in a crate.
It marks a heartbreaking end to a legendary life for two-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
Officials vowing to continue their investigation, but consider the mystery solved.
So let's bring in Trevor Ault tonight. And Trevor, so many people following this. Bottom line here tonight, authorities believe Betsy Hackman died of that rare virus, hantavirus, and they believe that Gene Hackman died of heart disease and complications of Alzheimer's, and that he was alive in the home for a week after his wife died.
That's right, David. And with his advanced Alzheimer's, officials say it's possible that Gene Hackman was not fully aware of what was going on in the week after his wife died. They say they found no outside communications he had in that time frame. But given the fact that Hackman was found near the door with his cane, officials say it's possible that he died while trying to go get help. David.
Trevor Ault leading us off here tonight. Trevor, thank you. This evening, the dramatic images here. Elon Musk's SpaceX Starship blowing up about 9 minutes after takeoff. Ground stops ordered at multiple airports overnight, and pilots in the air were warned to look out for debris. Images of the flaming debris falling back to Earth. ABC's Victor Akendo from Florida tonight.
Stunning new videos tonight showing that massive Starship explosion as the FAA orders Elon Musk's SpaceX to investigate what went wrong. The moment it blew up, seen 9 minutes into the mission. Flaming wreckage streaking across the sky over the Caribbean after the Starship broke up, pieces falling back down to Earth. Passengers on this plane watched as the debris appeared to fly close to them mid-air. The incident forcing ground stops at several major airports in Florida. Pilots warned to look out for space debris.
Vehicle mishap, a debris response area has been activated. You'll be crossing the debris field at your own risk.
It was the 8th test flight of the Starship rocket, which Musk hopes will one day take humans to the moon and Mars.
Stage separation.
The giant reusable booster that powered the uncrewed Starship separated and returned successfully, caught by those so-called chopsticks.
It was right above us, lit up the whole sky.
This thing has exploded.
It's the second straight time this year a Starship launch ended in disaster. Musk posting on X, rockets are hard. And David, it has been less than 2 months since the last test flight exploded, also disrupting travel. SpaceX says they are going to learn and make improvements for future Starship flights. David.
Victor Akendo live from Florida tonight. Victor, thank you. At this hour, there's also breaking news coming in from South Carolina tonight in a death penalty case making national headlines. For the first time in 15 years, a death row inmate has now been executed moments ago by firing squad instead of the electric chair or lethal injection. Here's Steve Osunsami.
Prison officials in South Carolina tonight are making history on death row, using 3 executioners with rifles, firing from 15 feet away at the same time to shoot this double murderer in the heart. 67-year-old Brad Sigmund chose to die this way over the electric chair and lethal injection after a number of executions using injections have gone wrong. States have had trouble getting the right chemicals, and prison officials in the death chamber have struggled using needles and finding veins. Sigmund's attorney says a firing squad felt more humane.
Knowing that the bullets are going to break the bones in his chest and destroy his heart, or risk a 20-minute long execution strapped to a gurney with your lungs filling with blood and fluid. Now, this is an impossible choice.
Across America, nearly 24 states have a death penalty, and most of them are still by lethal injection. But now 5 states allow firing squads. In Idaho last year, they tried 8 times to kill this serial killer by lethal injection and failed. On Wednesday, lawmakers in response passed a bill to make a firing squad the state's primary death penalty. In South Carolina tonight, Brad Sigmund's ex-girlfriend told USA Today to remember her parents, who he beat to death with a baseball bat, saying that I didn't get to see them grow old. Executions by lethal injection can sometimes take hours. By comparison, a firing squad is just minutes. It's America's oldest method of state execution, some would say more efficient. And late word from South Carolina tonight, this death sentence has been carried out. The first time a prisoner in America has been killed by firing squad in the last 15 years.
David?
Yes, that execution just a short time ago. Steve Osunsami tonight. Steve, thank you. Now to the new turn tonight in President Trump's on-again, off-again tariffs, just 24 hours after pausing the 25% tariffs he imposed on Mexico and Canada, saying he would pause them for a month. Tonight, the president is now threatening Canada with a tariff up to 250% on dairy and lumber. And tonight, what American builders say this could do immediately to the cost of construction and homes here in the U.S. Rachel Scott at the White House tonight.
Just 24 hours after declaring a temporary truce in his trade war with Canada and Mexico, President Trump today with a new tariff threat, announcing plans to impose a hefty new tax of up to 250% on all lumber and dairy coming into the United States from Canada.
Canada has been ripping us off for years on tariffs for lumber and for dairy products. This is Canadian lumber.
Trump says the new tariff could take effect as soon as today and comes in response to the up to 250% tax Canada puts on imports of American dairy and lumber.
They make it impossible for us to sell lumber or dairy products into Canada.
Economists warn that Trump's higher tariffs, particularly on lumber, could cause real pain here in the U.S. That 30% of the lumber we use comes from Canada, and home builders and construction firms would bear the cost, passing it along to consumers by raising home prices. Eli Blifford owns a lumber yard in Milwaukee.
It's hard on home builders. It's hard on prospective home buyers. It isn't good for anybody.
The National Association of Home Builders says even a 25% tariff on Canadian lumber would add up to $10,000 to the cost of building a new single-family home. Trump's new threatened tariff could be many times larger. Experts say it will likely result in higher home prices. It all comes at the end of a whiplash week that began with the president implementing a 25% tariff on all goods from Canada and Mexico. The markets tanked and Trump responded, first agreeing to allow the big three American automakers a 1-month exemption from paying those tariffs, then putting many of the tariffs on pause. Today he was asked if the roller coaster ride is over.
Right now the markets, as you know well, prefer stability. Are you done going forward with the pauses and the carve-outs? Is that it for those?
There'll always be changes and adjustments, but there'll always be some modifications. I mean, if you have a wall in front of you, sometimes you have to go around the wall instead of through it.
And David, it has been a week of whiplash. First, the president imposing those tariffs, then providing exemptions for tariffs, then pausing them. And now that new threat of additional tariffs on Canada imports. Now, of course, it's unclear when or if those are going to go into effect, David.
And of course, tracking the wild swings in the market all week long. Rachel Scott at the White House. Rachel, thank you. We turn tonight to 2 active duty soldiers and an Army veteran now under arrest tonight, accused in an alleged plot to sell U.S. military secrets to China. And authorities say they have video. Here's Pierre Thomas.
The FBI claims this surveillance photograph shows an active-duty Army soldier secretly using his phone to take pictures of sensitive military information with the goal of sending it to China. Tonight, Jin Zhao is accused, along with another active-duty soldier at a military base in Washington state and an Army veteran, of engaging in a conspiracy to betray their country and profit from selling secrets to the People's Republic of China.
The information that is at risk here is information that identifies the United States military's capabilities, plans and intentions.
The FBI suspects the men pilfered an encrypted military computer, 20 hard drives, some classified as secret and top secret, and shared details about U.S. armored vehicles and a sophisticated long-range missile system known as HIMARS, now being used in Ukraine. The men who were arrested Thursday, reflective of a disturbing new pattern. Since 2021, at least 13 U.S. intelligence and current and former members of the U.S. military have been charged with trying to sell secrets to China.
The FBI recently said it has more than 2,000 ongoing cases involving China's efforts to steal U.S. technology. David?
Pierre Thomas, live at Washington. Pierre, thank you. Next tonight, the 20-year-old college student and engineering student who died. Authorities say they were first told he was hit in the chest while playing basketball. But tonight, investigators say it was not basketball, it was hazing, and that he was repeatedly punched in the chest. Here's Whit Johnson.
Tonight, a recent college graduate under arrest in connection with a horrific alleged hazing death in Louisiana. 23-year-old Caleb McRae facing manslaughter and criminal hazing charges as authorities search for at least 2 more suspects. Last month, 20-year-old Southern University junior Caleb Wilson was unresponsive when a group of men dropped him off at a Baton Rouge emergency room. Court documents state the men allegedly told hospital staff that Wilson collapsed after being struck in the chest while playing basketball. But tonight, investigators say that was a lie.
Caleb Wilson died as the direct result of a hazing incident where he was punched in the chest multiple times while pledging to Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Wilson was an engineering student and avid member of the school's band called Human Jukebox. His grieving father, Corey, remembering his son's love for that band at a recent vigil.
Thank you all, the Human Jukebox. This is Caleb's life. He really loved the jukebox.
And David, we've just learned the suspect, Caleb McRae, is a member of the Army National Guard. His attorney says he maintains his client's innocence. David.
Whit Johnson back with us tonight. Whit, thank you. Tonight, the Trump administration has canceled $400 million in federal grants to Columbia University, accusing them of failing to protect Jewish students from harassment. Columbia University here in New York City was a hotbed of protests after the October 7th Hamas terror attack and Israel's response. The university tonight saying it is committed to combating anti-Semitism. UC Berkeley, the University of Minnesota, and Northwestern, among other universities, now under investigation over a potential lack of efforts to protect students from anti-Semitism. When we come back here tonight, the measles outbreak widening in the U.S. tonight. We'll have the map for you and where these cases are spreading. Also, why so many eyes tonight are closely watching a live nest cam at this hour. We'll show you. Will the eaglet come in just the next few hours? And look at this tonight. Winds gusting to 65 miles per hour in the East, planes rocking back and forth coming in for landing. Where this played out. The images in a moment here. Tonight, dangerously high winds across the east from D.C. up through New York City and Boston. Passenger planes rocked by strong winds at Reagan National Airport in Washington. An American regional flight seen aborting its landing, going around for another attempt. Tonight, the CDC reporting new cases of measles in at least a dozen states now. Measles detected from Texas to Alaska to New York. There are now at least 198 cases linked to that outbreak in West Texas. 30 cases in New Mexico. When we come back here, Dolly Parton and the song she's now dedicating to the husband she lost this week. And the eaglet's nest being watched by tens of thousands right now. And we'll show it to you in a moment. To the Index, and tonight, after thanking fans across this country for their support, Dolly Parton dedicating this song to the husband she lost.
I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there.
The song, If You Hadn't Been There, paying tribute to her husband of nearly 60 years, Carl Dean. When we come back here tonight, why so many eyes are trained on one eagle's nest tonight, and we'll show it to you right after the break. Finally tonight, all eyes on one eagle's nest tonight. Tonight, a family of bald eagles in Southern California's San Bernardino Mountains capturing the world's attention. So many watching this nest online. The new parents have 3 babies hatching at the same time, very rare for bald eagles. The nonprofit Friends of Big Bear Valley tracking them with a 24-hour solar-powered camera, naming the mom and dad Jackie and Shadow. This all started about 5 weeks ago when Jackie laid the 3 eggs. The 2 taking turns keeping the eggs warm, dad sitting on them, and then mom flying in to take over. Just this week on Sunday, the first crack in an egg on the far right. By Monday, 2 of the eggs beginning to hatch, the beaks poking through. You could hear them chirping as we reported right here. Our KABC station in Los Angeles live on the air as they began to hatch.
There it is. There it is. Hey. We've got an eagle, ladies and gentlemen. An eaglet has just come out of the egg.
And just yesterday, the 3rd and final egg beginning to crack. So on this Friday night, the baby eaglet watch continues, waiting for the 3rd and final eaglet to hatch. And we'll keep you posted. I'll see you a short time from now for a special 2020 tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Our cold cases suddenly about to be solved across this country. You'll see 2 cases solved right before your eyes. Here's a preview. I'll see you at 9. Good night.
Tonight, David Muir reporting.
We take you inside two cases. A mother just 19 years old.
She was trying to protect her daughter. She fought like hell.
Another case into a beloved teacher, her whole future ahead of her.
Mysterious cold cases.
It gives you chills even today.
Yes.
What links both of those cases is the cutting-edge forensic technology inside this lab.
It sounded like science fiction at the time.
Can they be solved?
You'll see it unfold right here as they unmask the killer in both cases.
Catching the Killers, 2020, tonight on ABC. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.